Well, unfortunately, that doesn't come under my portfolio. That's a law and order question. And I believe that if Nkomo gave an undertaking that he was going to act constitutionally, he would be released. But as I understand it, he's not prepared to do that. We do believe in working within the Constitution, and I don't think that's unreasonable.
You've asked him whether he's prepared to act constitutionally.
Well, I personally don't speak to Nkomo.
If your independence is recognized, would you like to see the Queen visit Rhodesia or another member of the royal family?
I think a member of the royal family would always be welcome in Rhodesia.
Would you think of issuing an invitation?
Well, I would want to be satisfied that this is something that would be welcomed first. I think this is the way these things are played.
You can join the Commonwealth.
I think it would be wishful thinking to believe that we would be accepted in the Commonwealth when one knows the composition of the Commonwealth today. It isn't the old Commonwealth that we used to know. It's really an Afro-Asian Commonwealth today, isn't it? If you go by numbers and membership.
You think that they might not accept you?
I think that's putting it mildly.
Will you really welcome fast and increasing African political advancement here?
I would say this to you. I think it depends on how they acquit themselves. If the Africans prove that they can make a constructive contribution, then I don't believe any Rhodesian would object to this. What we object to is the pushing of people forward, irrespective of merit, simply because they happen to have a certain colored skin. And I think there are many cases in the world which can prove conclusively that this sort of policy has led to disaster.
If you feel it's not going the way you think it should be going, is there any way that you can slow it down?
Well, it's difficult to give an answer to that one off the cuff. If that position was to eventuate and I was still in my present chair, then I would have a look at the possibilities and see what I could do.
Are you saying there are circumstances in which you might tear up the settlement document?
No, I believe it might be possible to do this within the Constitution.
You've often said that you see future government in Rhodesia as staying in civilized and responsible hands. Do you think that African government here could be responsible and civilized?
Well, at the moment, I don't believe that they are fit to govern the country. What the position will be in 100 years' time, 1,000 years' time, it's difficult to predict, and I won't be here, will I?
Is that when you see majority rule, 100 or 1,000?
No, I'm just quoting those as round figures. You asked me whether I thought that they would be able to contribute responsible government. So I said it's difficult for me to visualize what will take place 1,000 years hence, 100 years hence, 10,000 years hence.
What about 10 years hence?
Well, I've got a pretty good idea of what the position will be 10 years hence. And they will not be in control then, and I don't believe that they will be fit to be in control in 10 years' time.
Is it really your intention to encourage Africans into the government, into administration, into working in the towns, or do you want to keep them apart?
But this has always been our serious intention. There are twice as many Africans working in the towns as there are Europeans, so if it wasn't our serious intention to do that, we would never have arrived at this position, would we?
But in the higher grades, the professional grades, the businessmen, the administrative grades.
As and when these people are fit to take these positions, they are taking them, and you would be surprised today at the very high positions that some Africans hold. The fact that there are very wealthy Africans, millionaires, Africans who have a lot more money than I have, and probably you have in Rhodesia. This is the other side, and unfortunately this side is seldom put over. We have doctors, we have lawyers, we have barristers, Africans who join the government service and who come in on exactly the same conditions with the same salary as Europeans. There's no difference.